What are the bases that you look at to see if this company is viable or at least is reasonable or something like that?
So yeah, a few different items. Initial investment amount. Also, how long it takes to break even. So you get that information from the franchisor as well as talking to, say, 5 franchisees. The sales and the other financial information, like the owner's benefits. It's basically how much is the owner making?
Mm-hmm.
And the owner might have a health insurance and their spouse might be an employee. But basically, how much does this business benefit the owner? Is that $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year? So really getting that information. And I had already mentioned any litigations, prior bankruptcies, how many locations are opening, how many locations are closing. And then we go through a few different ratios where we've looked at over 100,000 small business administration loans that have gone to franchisees. And from that information, we've been able to deduce the loan default rate on an individual franchise basis, as well as industry by industry. So if you look at franchises in the real estate property management, home care, they're 4 times as successful as a food and beverage franchise if you just look at the default rate. So for real estate, it's like 1 in 20 are defaulting on their loan. And many food and beverage concepts, it's 1 in 5 are defaulting on their SBA loan.
Interesting, because when you say franchise, people automatically think McDonald's, Burger King, but there's real estate and management stuff, there's home care stuff, and that, home care especially, there's no hard costs, so it's mostly service. I mean, it's gonna be hard costs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of service businesses as they're very adaptable, and you're not relying on clients coming to your physical location. And it's not a convenience like a nail salon. How far are you gonna drive to a nail salon or a restaurant? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Where service, you can serve the client 30 minutes away and you're more going to the client. And you could be running an office space for $300 a month, as opposed to $5,000 a month for a concept where you're bringing the customer to you. So we're a very big fan of service-based businesses based on how they can adapt, and it's not a capital intensive business that they're also going to have to negotiate with the landlord every 5 years and improve the space. It's very asset light business that also, when they want to sell the business, sells at a much higher multiple, where many service-based businesses will sell at 1 to 2 times revenue. So you have a home care business that you invested $80,000, $100,000 in. The average franchisee might be making $500K in sales and netting $150K that they take home. That business can sell for $500K if the investor wants to move on to something else, doesn't need the business anymore for the E2 visa. So it's a pretty high return on investment, where for a food and beverage franchise, if you get your money back and your money back in some, you're in a good situation.
Yeah. And with regards to those kind of retail kind of investments, like, do people have to do the construction as well? So if you are going to get I keep going back to food and beverage, but do they have to construct? Or are these pre-prep construction or both? Like,
it's all negotiable. How desperate is the landlord?
Yeah.
If the landlord really wants a tenant, they'll pay a lot for tenant improvements and give months of free rent. If it's a really hot market, best of luck, and you're gonna have to pay for everything.
I think what's going to happen is a lot of lawyers are going to contact you for themselves, like, boy, this is great investment. Get the clients. I have some extra cash. I need to put it somewhere.
So we've had clients that don't need the visa, and how I see it, if you're willing to work hard in the business and you can actually do it full time, there's a lot of opportunities. If you just want to invest cash, you have to have a certain net worth to justify that. Like, if you're worth $1 million and you're putting $300K in a business, that's a big part of your net worth. And maybe it yields 10 to 20%, but there is a risk that it fails, where the alternative for a lawyer or other professional is just to invest in an ETF where it's across 500 businesses and it yields 9%, and it's much more diversified. So there's a lot of different options, and I think just no size fits all with this.